Good evening. With your CIGTV news update, I'm Simon Boxall in for Donna Bush. In today's top story, the Public Accounts Committee will consider a number of reports from the Auditor General. 5 reports on the state of governance in core government, statutory authorities and government companies will be on the table when the Public Accounts Committee meets tomorrow. The Auditor General, Alastair Swarbrick, published the reports at a press conference in late January. Commenting on the findings by his office, Mr. Swarbrick stated that while the Constitution and the legislation of the Cayman Islands provide a solid foundation for good governance, audit work found that implementation of the laws falls short or is overridden, creating significant risks for government operations. Public Accounts Committee members include the Leader of the Opposition, the Honourable Makiva Bush, and Councillors Alva Saku, Joseph Hugh and Winston Connolly. Councillor Mr. Roy McTaggart serves as chair. The committee will meet again to wrap up its consideration of the reports on Tuesday, 16th of September. The National Weather Service is one of the key partner agencies behind this month's national commemoration of the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Ivan. We recently spoke to new Director General John Tibbetts about some of the changes that his office has experienced in the last decade. Mr. Tibbetts, who was already working for the Weather Service at that time, spent the duration of the storm in the Central Fire Station, which is the National Emergency Operations Center. He says that Ivan was a very significant moment in his own career, but also in the history of severe weather in the Cayman Islands.
Hurricane Ivan represented for me the first large hurricane to have impacted the Cayman Islands while I was within the Weather Service. Hurricane Gilbert came along earlier, but it was moving much too fast in comparison to Ivan. It meant that the hurricane conditions lasted for a much longer time. I think we also realized too is that Hurricane Ivan was quite a bit stronger than Hurricane Gilbert on passing through the Cayman Islands. So we got to see the full impact of what a major hurricane can do to the Cayman Islands from the point of view from the wind, the storm surge, the rain, and even the large battering waves.
In the 10 years since Hurricane Ivan passed through the Cayman Islands, the former Met Office evolved into the National Weather Service.
The Weather Service in the Cayman Islands has really taken quite a jump since Hurricane Ivan. By 2010, the Met Office had been converted to the National Weather Service of the Cayman Islands. So that was something very important that came out of Hurricane Ivan's passage. Also, a Met law was passed to give the National Weather Service the authority to issue warnings on behalf of the Cayman Islands. Another major piece of equipment came along as well, and that was the weather radar. Any storms beyond this time now, we will have the weather radar as an added tool to assist us in tracking the hurricane and forecasting where the hurricane goes. It is important to know that at this point that if there's a storm going through the Cayman Islands, there will be radar data coming from the Cayman Islands back to the National Hurricane Center in Miami to assist them in making professional level decisions about the track and the intensity of the hurricane.
Finally, Mr. Tibbetts shared a story with us that illustrates something of Ivan's power and unpredictability.
Later that week, in fact, Mr. Sambola was the director at the time. He requested that I go with a representative from FEMA from up to the United States. And we took a drive, basically a tour around the island, and he took some 1,500 to 2,000 pictures. And he didn't take the pictures from the roadside. He went around to the seaside to take the pictures. From the roadside, you would see an intact home. From the seaside, the whole back walls, all the back walls were gone because of the large battering waves and the storm surge that came in that produced so much damage, especially along the south and perhaps southeast coast.
For more on hurricane preparedness or to find out more about the national plans for the commemoration of the hurricane's 10th anniversary, visit www.caymanprepared.ky. In other news, the National Gallery will open a photographic commemoration of the 10th anniversary of Hurricane Ivan on Saturday. The exhibition will consist of over 45 fine art photographs mixed with powerful quotes from the public, remembering their experiences, both challenging and uplifting, during and after the storm. Featured photographers include Courtney Platt and David Wolfe. The show also features work by other artists such as Cherie Ebanks, Julie Corsetti, Mary McCallum, Jenna Arnold, and Darwin Ebanks. It will also showcase a short film created by the gallery and Monster Media as part of the original 2004 Emergence Ivan Remembered exhibition. The film features interviews of well-known local artists and was shot shortly after the natural disaster. Fidelity Insurance is sponsoring the exhibition, which will end on the 27th of September. Co-sponsors are Cayman First and Guardian General. As always, reminding you to tune into Radio Cayman's Talk Today show weekdays at 12:15 with host Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. And don't forget, you can watch the CIGTV News Update rebroadcast throughout the night or on our Facebook and YouTube pages. That ends another news update here on CIGTV. As always, I'm Simon Boxall. Good night and thanks for watching.